Friends, I'm super excited to be sharing the 2025 forecast, just a little bit of a preview for what's to come next year. Now, I've spoken about it a little bit in September. I liked to describe September as a preview of 2025, and October was really kind of like a graduation month of all the challenges and opportunities for growth over the last year and a half. So today I'm going to talk about a very important transition that we're going to be going through in January. It is a collective transition that affects certain people a lot more. So right off the bat, I want to know if you have Virgo or Pisces placements. And if you're unsure if you have these placements, go to my website, yoursaturn.com, to get your free career astrology report. Okay, so I will do kind of like a recap of this year first. You can kind of understand, okay, how did this one transit, Pisces rising, yay, affect me like this last year? And so that'll allow you to understand how this next one will potentially affect you as well. So over the last year and a half, we've all gone through some big upgrades related to identity, relationships. So much has changed in like how you engage and interact and be in partnership, and a lot of that comes from you changing and recognizing your own values and your own boundaries. Now, if you have Aries and Libra placements, this year has been particularly challenging, and I applaud you for making it through. There's been so much growth, so much shedding, and also the invitation of new opportunities and people to connect with. At the collective level, we've all kind of like been rethinking how we lead and how we show up, especially like at work. And for my Aries and Libra friends, you've either needed to like really rethink the way that you lead, the way that you engage with people. If you have a lot of Libra placements, that means that you probably released a lot of people-pleasing tendencies and the desire to kind of just like gather people, get everyone's opinions, and kind of move towards a place of like, you know what, I can't like do anymore. I need to focus on myself. All right, let's see what some of the comments are saying. Virgo moon, Gemini rising, Aquarius sun, Aries rising, Virgo, Libra, Sag. So like those are the experiences that we had. I'm trying to figure out like the right lighting here. Maybe this is like a little bit better. So those are some of the trends that we've been experiencing as a collective. And of course, like for like Aries and Libra, this has affected you a lot more, specifically, especially around eclipse season, which happens twice a year. So Aries and Libra friends, you felt it like last October and November, this year, March and April, and then again in September and October. But really the worst of it was like last fall and this April. So eclipse season will always bring about what you need, maybe not what you want. It's a time of deep transformation and change. And so all of this has been happening because of the North Node in Aries. The North Node is a placement that relates to purpose, growth areas. It's like where we feel really expansive. When we talk about it from the individual birth chart, and you can get your North Node placement from my website if you get your free career astrology report, yoursaturn.com. So you have your own individual North Node placement. And when you look at your North Node, let's say it's in Leo, you begin to understand what you need to feel very expansive, what you need to kind of explore so you can really grow professionally and personally. And it also gives you insights into ideal jobs and careers. This is why the North Node placement is very important. So that's at the individual level. At the collective level, let's say when the North Node is in Aries, all of us are focused on the theme of Aries, and then of course the South Node theme of Libra. They're always opposite of one another. So Aries and Libra. We are welcoming in more understanding of our values and our boundaries, learning how to say no, and we are releasing people-pleasing relationships that no longer serve us, and unhealthy relationship habits. So that's the perspective of what it means at the individual level and the collective level. Now, it's going to affect you a lot more, the collective North Node placement transit, if you have like your own birth chart reflected more, like a lot of Aries or Libra. We're all feeling it, but it's like the degrees of like how you're growing and how you are feeling it. So I hope that is helpful. If you have questions, please drop it into the chat and I will clarify. So we are moving into a new collective cycle, and it will start in January, moving into 2026. It's always about like 18, 24 months with a little bit of it lingering. So next March, when we have eclipse season, we're actually going to have a new moon solar eclipse in Aries. So all of us are going to feel like March is going to be a really, really fresh start. There's going to be probably a lot of reconfiguring in careers, like people like leaving their jobs, finding new opportunities, starting side hustles. And if you have a business, you might be rethinking how you run it, your services and your products. So March is going to be a really big time to kind of close out all of the lessons we've been learning for the last year and a half related to what do we really want? Who am I? And how does my identity play into how I want to be of service to others? Now, next year, it's going to be a focus on truth and trust, because the North Node is moving into Pisces. Now, we are already familiar with this Pisces energy because Saturn is in Pisces. When Saturn is in Pisces, we are forced to really focus on activating our intuition, understanding where we have been delusional or in denial in our lives. And so during this time, there has been like a little bit of a stagnation in terms of creativity. If you are a creative, if you like write, like for like screenplays, like TV shows, like movies, but whatever it may be, like music and entertainment, you might be feeling a little bit stuck, but next year is really going to move us forward in terms of creative output. We may not see these things like these new TV shows or new albums, but it's like going to be worked on by artists and by creatives. And in 2026, 2027, there's almost going to feel like a renaissance of like music and culture and entertainment, like TV shows and movies. So that's going to be very, very interesting. But before that happens, we're all kind of going through this more of like a pressure cooker situation next year of really honing in on with Saturn in Pisces and then the North Node in Pisces. So it's a subtle difference in these energies. With the North Node in Pisces, we are learning to trust ourselves more. And so somatic practices, yoga, mindfulness, if you have a spiritual business, like it is really going to take off next year. People that you would not expect to be interested in your work, whether it's energy healing, Akashic records, astrology, even like massage work, yoga, did I say meditation? I probably said all these things already. There's just going to be so much more of an interest, and there's going to be a really strong focus on health and wellness in a very, very different way. I still need to kind of like feel into it and do some journaling practices myself to really get some of the like details of it, but it will be kind of like a focus on not only like your physical wellness, emotional and spiritual, and so all of that is going to be worked on. So next year, you are going to have a lot of opportunities to do a trust fall with the universe. And especially if you have Pisces and Virgo placements, it's like about letting go. It's about embracing a more flow state of living and like working. I know that with my North Node in Pisces, I will be going through my nodal return. And so when your personal North Node matches up with the collective North Node, it's like an amplification of energy. I've been working on preparing for this big change all of this year. And if you're just like, I'm just hearing this for the first time, or I'm like, wait, now it's actually clicking in my head, one of the best things that you can do is to start a membership at a yoga studio or download a meditation or mindfulness app, as well as like diving into creative hobbies. I think that one of the more practical applications of a North Node in Pisces is like people are going going to be like crafting like no other. They're going to want to like do paint and sips. They want to go to art classes. There's going to be a lot of team building things related to like, oh, like let's do something like tactile, like with our hands, like knitting, crocheting, like anything that is like really creative will allow people to really access their intuition more and to further develop that trust in understanding like what and how your intuition is sharing with you. So if you don't have a creative hobby, I recommend that you get one. Start like meditating, go to the yoga studio, be mindful about your holistic health as we move into the new year. I mean, this is already something naturally that we focus on because of the new year, but because the North Node is in Pisces, there's going to be even more emphasis of it. And I think that some of us, the more sensitive ones who are already very intuitive and psychic, like have been working on this already. Like I've been working on the creative stuff all year. The last like month or so I've really been focusing more on my physical well-being. When we go through a spiritual awakening, which is very much so the theme of next year, like deepening our connection to our higher self, the spiritual realm, understanding energetics, you will also feel a big change in your body. You might feel like you want to exercise, you might need more naps, you might need more rest, you might be changing your diet. This is like a really, really big quote unquote side effect when you go through a spiritual awakening. And of course, especially like if you are regularly practicing yoga or meditation or even going to get like a Reiki certification. I remember when I did my Reiki certification back in 2018, I think, or 2019, I knew that I wanted to kind of understand like different modalities that I was interested in, but I had no idea the profound shift that would happen energetically within me. After I finished that weekend training for my Reiki 1 and 2 certification, I like stopped drinking, like alcohol was like revolting to me. I had a lot of like dietary changes as well, and I just like wanted to get a lot healthier. And the main reason is because when we keep our bodies healthy, that means that the vessel quote unquote is like clean and able to receive messages a lot more. When you're eating not well, when you're not sleeping, when you're not drinking enough water, this really affects like the machine that is your body that will receive intuitive insights, to be creative, to really be present. So you might be experiencing some of these changes now, and of course well into next year. And March is going to be our first milestone of incredible changes with that new moon in Aries and that full moon in Pisces. A lot of us have been working since that new moon in Pisces in September on like really working on like spirituality, creativity, and maybe even starting a spiritual business during this time. I know so many clients have come to me and be like, so I have my spiritual business, but I want to do something different, or like I've been thinking about this idea that's creative or spiritual, but I don't know if it's the right time. And I've said time and time again, it is the right time. You want to be able to start this stuff now so that you don't feel like you're scrambling when like there's an influx of people searching for these things. Okay, Shruti says, Cap Sun, Sag Moon, Aries Rising. I just graduated, actively looking for jobs. Any insights? Oh, amazing. So lots of clarity for you over the last year. I definitely recommend that you get your free career astrology report from my website, yoursaturn.com. And if anybody doesn't have their expanded report on this call, happy to give you a discount on the expanded version. That's 15 plus pages. So just DM me after this live and I'll send it over to you. So Shruti, when you are looking at your free career astrology report, I want you to focus on that last paragraph and your North Node placement. That's going to give you a lot of great insights to ideal jobs and businesses. One of the reasons why we get stuck in jobs that keep us stagnant, that jobs that aren't fulfilling, or not even getting interviews back, or just feeling very like blah about the jobs that we're applying to, is because we're focused too much on the South Node. So the North Node is where we're going, feeling very expansive. The South Node, those are our natural talents and gifts, our comfort zone. And so you're using these skills to get you more towards this like North Node self. And I would even say you can read for your North North Node placement for horoscopes when you want to embody more of your quote unquote future self and your higher self. So my North Node is in Pisces. If I read for Pisces, that gives me an understanding of like, oh, like what does my higher self need? What does the most expansive version of myself desire? So that's kind of like an interesting thing that you can do. So when you're focused more on those South Node characteristics, it doesn't help you to move and grow forward. And so I remember when I was looking for operational jobs, because my South Node is in Virgo, I would just feel like, oh, like I don't know if I want to do this. Like I just feel very just like a dread of doing something that is like project management, organization, just like kind of very operationally like driven. And when I kind of combine my natural skill sets of like being very grounded, being very like process driven, so that's why my content is very practical, very Virgo, but I'm working in a space that is very Pisces. It's very psychic, it's very intuitive, it's astrology, and I'm helping people with like their career and this business and their businesses. So when I combine this, it's like a very wonderful amalgamation of like who I am and my past and where I am going to in this lifetime, like what I'm learning to become. So that's an example about me that has really helped. This is like the same example I give my clients, because I don't know like your nodal placements. Okay, Melissa, Virgo Sun, Moon, Cap Rising, been a stay-at-home mom for 12 years since I got laid off while pregnant, unsure of what to do since I've been out of workforce for so many years now. So definitely next year you're going to be like releasing like the ways that you've been really hard on yourself, because you're just like, oh, like I don't know enough, or I've been out of like the job market for a really long time, but you actually know a lot more than you think. So that's a really big focus, and to be less hard on yourself and to release perfectionism. And there's so many more programs now that help people re-enter the workforce, and really jobs these days are all about connection. So just talking to like your community, like your friends, like your friends, like spouses, or, like, and just talking about, hey, I want to get back into working, and I did this before. I either want to go into it again or have an interest in other things. Like, where do you think I can start? Can I talk to someone? I think starting those conversations, not being afraid of like maybe sounding a little bit lost, because I know with my Virgo placements, they always want to be prepared. But in this instance, releasing that need to be prepared and need to be controlled and being vulnerable and asking for help. Now with the North Node in Capricorn in the 7th house, I know that you've been going through a lot of changes, Viva Faye, in terms of like work relationships, business relationships. So now is a really wonderful time for you to just be more open to and welcoming in the right types of business relationships, because with the North Node in Capricorn, my advice and my take is always like, you're going to be starting a business and more than one business. So who can you start this new business with or work with on your existing business? Virgo midheaven, Pisces, I see feeling a huge shift in career direction. Like, I know that you're probably known for like being operationally driven, finding solutions for people, but you're starting to rethink at what cost. Because it's probably easy for you to burn out, and you kind of can't reconcile internally like how to not burn out and to be successful. But it definitely can happen, and you are learning that lesson this next year in 2025. So I hope everybody loved my quick preview of 2025 that actually went more in depth. I'm going to be talking more about this on my intention setting sound bath. It's virtual. I have a couple times on December 31st, the 1st. So please join in, link in the profile, DM me. I can send that to you as well. I think today is the last day for early bird tickets. So I definitely recommend that you get a ticket, because we do a sound bath to just get clear and to relax. And then I share the astrology forecast and give you an opportunity to reflect and to journal, to really get clear on the reality you want to create for yourself in 2025, and to just really like kick off the year. And it's like a resource that people listen to time and time again, especially during that first quarter, to really just like rethink and to recalibrate, because I really feel like it's not until, for me, Lunar New Year, which will be the end of January, the 28th. And then like for me to feel like it's the new year. But then when we have the spring equinox in March, like that really feels like things get going in Aries season. All right, I hope this was helpful. I'm going to be pausing on lives for a couple of weeks as I take time to build my membership, some really interesting written resources for you as well, especially like business owners. So I'm going to be offline for the next few weeks. I'm going to come back on the week of the January 6th with my weekly lives again, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific. If you need me from now until then, the best way is going to be the expanded career astrology reports and the pre-recorded astrology readings, because my books are closed for the year. They'll reopen on January 6th for one-on-one career astrology readings. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Don't worry, I'll also post this on my Instagram, and you'll still get weekly emails from me. You get those weekly emails once you get your free career astrology report from yoursaturn.com. All right, have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.